Welcome to Launch Over 40. Today, my guest is Hazel Palache, president of Your Stairway to Wealth. She is a best-selling author, transformation expert, clinical hypnotherapist, and certified coach who uses hypnosis to create faster changes. She teaches women entrepreneurs 45 plus how to move past fear and doubt so they create a life and business that is fun, fulfilling, and gives them financial freedom. Okay, Hazel, so I know that you were saying that you had started off with co-owning a company with your husband in the United Kingdom. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. We co-owned a large cosmetic company, mainly eyelashes, which were very, very popular at the time. And there were no female sales reps on the road at that time. And on the road, I meant, going from store to store. So rather than just hire a team and find out whether it worked or not, I decided that I would go out and I would start it up. And I did. It became very successful. I opened very large accounts in London and the UK. And we came to the U.S. in 79, actually. So I had gone from working with him in the company to not working because I didn't have to at the time, to coming here to the U.S. And then I got divorced. And so in order to live, I had to work. However, I really knew that what I wanted was to have my own business rather than work for somebody else for the rest of my life. But I had to go back to school before I could do that, so I went to school at night while I was working a job during the day, and I was invited to be on staff at the institute where I worked after I got certified as a master clinical hypnotherapist. And then I left there and I opened my own practice here locally where I live in the United States, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. I had a very, very successful practice for about 5 or 6 years. And then, unfortunately, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I really couldn't work the same way anymore. And because it was just too draining on me to see people face to face. And in 97, I heard about coaching. And so I retrained. And I became a certified coach. And I also became an NLP practitioner, which is neuro-linguistic programming, and added that to my training, plus the certification in stress management counseling.
So when you became a coach, did that require you to go back to school again?
I did. I had to retrain, yes. I was very fortunate at the time. Thomas Leonard, who was actually the granddaddy of coaching before he died, I trained under Thomas Leonard, and I got certified. It took me a year while I was actually closing my practice, because you can't just walk away from a private practice. So it took me about a year to close the practice while I was training and also working part-time as a coach so that I could get experience. And then after that year, about a year to 18 months, I started what today is known as Your Stairway to Wealth.
Now, you transitioned a number of times since you were in your 40s. And you also wrote a best-selling book when you was in your 60s.
I did.
So I guess no retirement on the horizon for you, but can you tell us how you didn't allow age to get in the way of what you wanted to achieve?
Well, to me, I'm 72 now, just about to actually turn 73. I'm on the cusp of 73.
Happy early birthday.
Age to me is a number. And it's not that I always could think like this. I had to do a lot of work to change the way I thought because I had a very abusive, negative upbringing. However, if you really want to do something, then you make a plan and you do it. But all the planning in the world won't help you if you don't have your mindset in the right place. And I realized that I learned a lot from working with other people as well as doing my own work on my own. And what I realized was that people, including me at the time, we could say a lot of things, and not realize that on a subconscious level, we were actually sabotaging ourselves because our conscious mind and subconscious mind were not integrated with each other. So when I thought about that, I mean, I started a business at 50. I restarted, I closed the business and started a new business when I was about, I guess it was 56. I've lost count of the years, Yolanda.
That's okay. We won't hold you to the exact number.
When I was about 56. And at the time, the company was actually called Mind Mastery Coaching. However, I discovered that although I was very successful with clients and everybody came to me through referral, people didn't quite understand what mind mastery meant at that time. You know, the law of attraction wasn't something that was widely talked about, was way, way before The Secret. And I had to decide when I was in, at that point in time, when I was basically in my late 50s, was I going to be able to do this as I got older? And I basically talked to myself. Self-talk is one of the most powerful things you can do, and so is asking yourself questions. A lot of people don't ask themselves questions, and over the years I've learned this more and more. Affirmations are fantastic, and never stop doing affirmations. But I had to ask myself, can I do this? Do I want to do this? Am I going to allow my age to get in the way? The answer to that, by the way, was absolutely not. And what do I want to achieve by doing this? And so I just moved forward, and I didn't allow age to get in my way. And then when I was in my early 60s, somebody said to me, you have so much experience and so much wisdom, you should be writing a book. And my immediate answer was, oh, yeah, right. Because, it never had occurred to me in my whole life that I would write a book. Anyway, I had a very good friend who was a book coach at the time. And with her help, I decided, again, I asked myself the question, what do I want this book to achieve? And what I decided was I didn't want a 300-400-page book that people would read the first 3 chapters and then they would get fed up and put it down. I wanted something that people could actually read in an hour or so if they wanted to, and they could really get information that could help them to move forward in life and change the way they thought. And so that is what I did. And when I was 65, I think I was 65, around there, the book actually went to the bestseller list on Amazon.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So now it's time for me, apparently, according to everybody, to write the second book. So that is what I will be doing this year. And when I decided to call the company a different name, and truthfully, I went through a couple of different names. It was called Mind Mastery, and then Say Yes to You Coaching. And finally, it was Your Stairway to Wealth. And when I say wealth, I was not talking just about money. Wealth, to me, is about life. That means good health, good relationships, happiness in your life, and money, of course, but it's not just about money. So, I would hate for people to think that you just see wealth as a word that means money and nothing else. So basically, that brought me to where I am today. Now, about 18 months ago, I did decide I was going to retire. And after I had not worked for a while, I thought I was going to go out of my mind. So I started working again, but now I have a very different focus than I had back then. Although I still work with private clients, and I'm a national and an international coach because I work on the phone, I added hypnosis to my coaching sessions so that people could faster change the way they thought. Hypnosis is very powerful, and you can change your mind very fast with hypnosis if you're open to doing it. And it's not something that is a weird thing. It's very, very powerful. For you, not for me. I can't tell you anything that you don't want to do. And so now I'm moving into creating groups and a whole line of products, plus plus a new book. And I'm hoping that all of that will be done before the end of this year.
So you say you use hypnosis with clients?
I do. I've actually been using hypnosis with clients for years. When I was in private practice and I was counseling people about relationships and how to change the way they thought, because I am also a relationship coach. I just don't focus on that anymore. When I was working in private practice, I used to do hypnosis every single day with people. Every session always had hypnosis. So when I became a coach, I wasn't sure how it would work on the phone. However, after a couple of years of not using it, I decided that I was going to incorporate it because I found women entrepreneurs especially, and I only really work with women entrepreneurs, especially when they get a little older, they tend to doubt themselves. And can I do it? But I'm getting old. You know, will I be able to make this happen? Can I be successful? Will I fail? And I found that by using hypnosis, they were able to change the way they thought so much faster. And also, it actually helped people to let go of other things while they were letting go of the negativity. For instance, I had a client who had been smoking for 34 years. Now, we weren't doing this for smoking. Although I do that with hypnosis, we were not doing that for smoking. We were doing it for her to let go of limiting beliefs. I teach women how to create a business, obviously. So that they can build their business and make more money. But during the planning stages and the action stages is when the doubt starts creeping in, and that's when I start using the hypnosis with them, if they're open to it. I can't do it if somebody isn't open to it. But she happened to do, we did a letting go of limiting beliefs, and about 2 weeks later, I got an email from her, and she said, I don't know what happened during that session. However, I haven't smoked a cigarette since. I've never been able to give it up in 34 years. And that day, I just stopped smoking. Well, now it's about 2 years, and she hasn't had a cigarette since.
Now, with your coaching on the phone, does hypnosis work the same as if you're with a person directly, or you can actually work with a person on the phone 100% and be able to use hypnosis?
No, hypnosis works exactly the same on the phone as it does in person. The only thing I don't do with hypnosis when I'm on the phone with people, I don't go back into past chaos or past trauma. We are only dealing with today and going forward. Because I'm not going to take somebody into a trauma state. A lot of people have childhoods that are not so great, and it's okay when you're doing it in front of somebody, you're with them, you are doing it specifically for them to let go of those negative messages from childhood. We're doing inner child work. They're aware of that, and if they go into that trauma place, I can take them past it instantly. Well, I can't do that on the phone. So on the phone, when I do hypnosis,